Awesomeness. Yeah, I can come a little bit. Good morning, everybody. It is so great to be back home in Broward County and here in South Florida. We are here today because we all share concerns about our health and our environment and the danger we see every single day. Polystyrene packaging like Styrofoam may be convenient, but it doesn't mean it is safe for our health, good for our environment, or the best available option. Studies have shown that chemicals with polystyrene foam may be linked to cancer, vision and hearing loss, birth defects, respiratory irritation, and damage to the liver, kidney, and spleen, among other health impacts. And these polystyrene-based products may take more than 500 years to decompose and take up to 30% of our landfill space, continuing their negative impact long beyond their lifetimes. In September, we at the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services announced the start of our rulemaking process to phase out the use of polystyrene food packaging at the 40,000 different grocery stores, markets, convenience stores, and other businesses that we regulate across the state of Florida. Since then, we've heard a lot of concern about polystyrene's continued use. At our public hearings in Orlando in November, we heard a Mount Sinai endocrinologist share how styrenes can harm reproductive health. We heard environmental advocates highlight all the ways in which polystyrene pose long-term threats to our waters, our ecosystem, and our marine and animal health. And we heard business experts share how they're using alternative packaging can actually be good for businesses and drive new innovation and opportunity. As both the Consumer Protection Agency and our Food Safety Agency for the state of Florida, we want to seize the opportunity to help consumers and companies make this responsible, proactive change, not only for today, but for tomorrow. Our vision to have our regulated businesses begin for the first time ever reporting annually the amount of polystyrene sold or distributed each year, and a beginning phased-in reduction of the amount of polystyrene food packaging that could be used until we reach zero within this decade. This is a big change, but again, it's not only that we're doing this alone. 17 cities, counties, and states have begun phasing out polystyrene, joining by amongst 30 nations around the world like Australia, France, Germany, Jamaica, and many others. And I've said this before, it's just as important that we develop a strong market for alternative products to help businesses make this change. And we are committed to working in partnership with the business community to help in this transition. In some cases, the price difference between a polystyrene product like a styrofoam cup and an alternative product can be as little as 1 cent. Even better, these alternatives can be cost effective and made from crops grown right here in the state of Florida, including hemp fibers and sugarcane byproducts, moving us closer to sugarcane green harvesting. Working together, this is a huge opportunity to create jobs at Florida businesses using Florida-grown crops to create next-generation products that are made in Florida. So we're doing our part, introducing common sense, reasonable proposed rules that now goes to the Florida legislature to be ratified. In a time when everything is partisan and polarizing, this is something common sense that we can and should all get behind. So I hope the Speaker, the Senate President, and legislative leaders will take up this rule for ratification as soon as possible. To share some of what's going on in Tallahassee and our outstanding partner who is fighting for Florida consumers every single day, I'd like to now welcome a great advocate for Broward County's interests in Tallahassee, Senator Gary Farmer.
Thank you, Commissioner Fried, and thank you everyone for being here. Welcome to Senate District 34. I'm so proud to represent this coastal district, an area I grew up in, and we're blessed with this natural beauty around us as we address this very serious issue. And I want to thank you, Commissioner Fried, for taking the lead on this important issue and this important bipartisan issue, as you pointed out. to protect the safety and health of our people and our environment. I've spent my career in the state Senate and before that as an attorney protecting consumers from harmful products and from abusive practices. During that time, I've learned the importance of peace of mind when it comes to the safety of products we use each and every day. Floridians have a right to know that whatever product they are given is safe, particularly when it comes to what holds their food and drink. After years of experience and research and knowledge, we now know indisputably that polystyrene is not safe for our food, not safe for our drinks, and not safe for our environment. I applaud Commissioner Fried for taking the steps necessary to remove it from our communities. And I implore my fellow legislators to assist us in making sure that this becomes a uniform protection in our state. The health and safety of our people and environment is not and never should be a partisan issue. The legislature has within its power the ability to take this action this year. And Florida's burgeoning green economy has the ability to turn this into a positive net effect, not only for our economy, but for our environment as well. Let's work together to protect our people, protect our environment by phasing out polystyrene while building Florida's economy at the same time. We have just one planet. There is an acute urgency of now. We cannot continue to kick this can down the road and wait for the next generation to clean up our mess. We have the science, we have the ability to not only protect this environment, but create the economic opportunity that we've talked about. I'm imploring Senate President Wilton Simpson and Speaker Chris Sprowls to hear this legislation, protect our state. This is something all Floridians, whether wearing a red jersey, a blue jersey, or a purple jersey, can get behind. So I want to thank you again, Commissioner Fried. I want to thank Commissioner Beam Burr, Commissioner Carol Shuham, and Elaine Fiore with the Food Conservation Alliance. Together, we need to make this happen this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Now I'd like to introduce two outstanding leaders advocating for Broward public health and environment every single day. But first, I'd like to welcome our Broward County Commissioner, Beam Burr.
Thank you, Commissioner Fried. You didn't have to twist my arm to get me down here to the beach. I think for those of us that have grown up here, it's great to get here. But I really want to thank you for doing this, because this is it's so refreshing to have something like this come from Tallahassee. It doesn't happen often. And usually we're trying to send stuff up to Tallahassee to try to get passed. And in this particular issue, what you're seeing is kind of a melding of the minds, because Broward County is actually going to be visiting this. It's on our agenda for January 25th. And it has gone through the Climate Change Action Plan, which Commissioner Shuham is on. We've been looking at this issue for almost a year now, looking at it. It's gone through all our legal. And like I said, it's on our agenda for the 25th. It calls for the reduction of plastic waste on county property, in county contracts, at county events, and expanded polystyrene, a petroleum byproduct commonly known as Styrofoam. It's not recyclable, nor is it biodegradable. I wear two hats. I'm the chair of the Climate Change Task Force, but I'm also on the Solid Waste Work Group. And the Environmental Protection Agency just put out a national strategy on recycling. And one of the things that they said is, if you can't recycle it, don't manufacture it. It's as simple as that. And this stuff doesn't break down. You can't do anything with it afterwards. And it just is filling our land, as you said, it's filling our landfills. And we're running out of space on that. So this is a great time to try to find alternatives for it. And that is part of the circular economy that you're going to see this county try to put together. Yes, part of recycling, there's other parts of recycling. Part of it is how do you reuse it, reduce it, and find a way to manufacture those alternatives. I think that you're going to see Broward County on the forefront of this. Hopefully we become the epicenter for how to do this. But the fact that the state and Commissioner Fried, that you're bringing this to everyone, oops, we got it, is a fantastic thing. It is a fantastic initiative. Overdue, but the fact that you're doing it is can't commend you enough on this. So thank you for doing that, and we look forward to getting this passed through the legislature. And anything we can do to help. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioner, for all of your leadership here in Broward County. And now I'd like to welcome our Hollywood City Commissioner, Carly Shuham.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Fried, for championing this critical legislation at this critical time. As District 1 Commissioner for the City of Hollywood, right here on our beautiful beach, I see every day, all day, the devastating impact of the unfettered use of single-use plastic. Governments at every level need to be doing more to protect our environment. Notwithstanding the current ridiculous preemptions imposed by the state legislature, the City of Hollywood has managed to pass some of the most comprehensive laws protecting our environment from single-use plastic. On the barrier island where we're standing right now, no restaurant or other establishment selling food is permitted to use foam or plastic to-go containers. Also, on our Broadwalk and elsewhere on our island, outdoor cafes may not use single-use disposable food products that are not biodegradable. As recently as 2020, our City Commission approved a ban on single-use food plastics and polystyrene on all city-owned properties and by city vendors. You heard the county is trying to catch up to us now. And city-owned property here includes our beach. So when visiting Hollywood, please leave your single-use plastics at home. And we have also completely banned the intentional release of balloons throughout the city of Hollywood. We are so proud of our city and taking the steps that it has, and we look forward to the state catching up to better protect our environment from unnecessary waste, toxins, and excessive carbon emissions created by single-use food packaging. And I am so grateful to Commissioner Fried, and our Hollywood community and I applaud your efforts. You have our support. We are on the cutting edge here in Hollywood, and we just hope everyone tries to catch up to us. And we are a living example that it's not easy, but it can be done. So thank you so much for your efforts. We hope this is the first of many of your very creative ideas. Thank you, Senator Farmer and Commissioner Furr. Maybe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. And finally, I'd like to introduce someone who is working diligently at the intersection of sustainability and food conservation in one of the nation's largest school districts. Please welcome Food Conservation Alliance founder, Elaine Fiore.
Hi there, good morning everyone. I'm Elaine Fiore. I lead the Food Conservation Alliance and I'm an environmental educator for Broward County Schools. I have the privilege to guide our youth to learn their roles and responsibilities as citizens of our community. Our children have taken ownership of the idea that polystyrenes and single-use plastics do not belong on our beaches and along our shorelines for many of the reasons that we've just heard. And instead of waiting for someone else to come and solve the problem, the children have taken on a leadership role. They have presented to our city's green team to educate about the harm polystyrene and single-use plastics have on our oceans, and they've worked with the city on solutions. They've met with our school district's wellness policy committee to educate and ask the school district to purchase better food packaging for our school cafeterias. So as you can imagine, the children are elated that their voices have been heard, as am I. And the children of our community stand with Commissioner Fried and both our Democrat and Republican leaders throughout the state who are calling upon our legislature to ratify FDAC's polystyrene phase-out plan. And with that being said, it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce to you one of our dynamic youth citizens, Miss Amelia Fiebel.
Good morning. My name is Emilia Fiebel and I'm a youth activist attending Sheridan Technical High School. I collaborate with organizations like Free Our Seas and Earth Echo International. At the 2018 Algalita Plastic Pollution Summit, I had the privilege of networking with students from over 20 countries on the global struggle to deal with plastic pollution. These experiences have allowed me to spread awareness and encourage people to take responsibility, but I can't do it alone. This phase out is important because without it, the negative impacts will be irreversible. These petroleum-based products are non-biodegradable, taking at least 500 years to decompose. In addition, our home state of Florida has seen more instances of marine life impacted by plastic pollution than any other state in the U.S. This phase out will protect the ocean, my generation, and future generations to come. I stand here today to urge Florida lawmakers to phase out polystyrene products. Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you, Elaine, for all the work that you are doing and so much to protect the health of our residents and the environment. But you are dynamic. And this is why we're doing this. It is for your generation, the future of our state, the future of our country. And it is such an honor that you are here today. And I have such confidence in the future of our state with leaders like you. So thank you for standing up. Thank you for taking ownership on these issues, pushing us adults to do the right thing. You truly are an inspiration for your generation. So thank you for everything you are doing. Phasing out polystyrene will spur innovation, will create opportunities, reduce harmful chemicals, and improve consumer health. It is absolutely a win for everybody. So thank you again for being here. Thank you all for your leadership on this issue. And again, this is a nonpartisan issue. This is something that impacts all of us across the state of Florida. We have done our job in the Department of Agriculture. We have listened to the people. We have listened to the environmentalists. We have listened to the business community. This is our call to our state legislators, to our Senate President, and to our Speaker of the House. Do the right thing. Ratify this rule and let us together protect our environment for the future of our state, for our future generations, for the future of our water quality. I know that you have it inside of you to do the right thing. Please take this opportunity to protect our environment, to protect our marine life, protect our health, and together we will get this done. So thank you, and I'll take questions.
When you began, you said may be harmful. Do you believe that polyester is harmful?
Yes. There has been a lot of, we've heard through not just in our rulemaking hearings, but that's what spurred a lot of this. We had a lot of environmentalists, a lot of doctors, a lot of researchers, a lot of scientists who have come to us and shown us different studies and different reports. We had people testify at our hearings saying the same exact thing. So these are things, and we want to be proactive. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for our environment, especially when there is alternative products. And that's what's so exciting, is that there are already been it's awesome. It's a great way to spend your morning. There already are products that are out there. We know that. We've seen them. We've visited plants that are producing them. They've been in existence for 100 years. And now, because of the increased demand, the costs are going down, which is also something, a right time for all of this to happen, because the alternative products are here. They're cost effective, and it's also going to help spur innovation and entrepreneurship here in the state of Florida.
What percentage of businesses still use polyester compared to, I guess, a few years ago?
Unfortunately, it's still a great majority of them, and that's part of why our phase-out plan starts with year one reporting. How much are you actually using? That's something for us to be able to know, so that when we're starting to do the phase-out, we know that it's, okay, we're doing it 10% this year, 20%, and making sure that we are calculating how much they're actually been using. So we don't have our hands completely around how much is being used, which is why that first year is so important to be grabbing that data.
I don't know if this is better for Gary, but what are the chances of this actually being a bipartisan issue and actually going the distance?
Well, look, it's no secret that partisanship has really taken over our legislative process in D.C., but I have to be optimistic. I just have to be. And it doesn't matter what your party registration is when you're thinking about your children and your grandchildren's safety, food products, where you drink from, where you eat from. and how we're going to do that, how we're going to sustain this beautiful, beautiful state and planet that we live in. And it's been an ugly many years as politics has taken over everything, but we're all born with a conscience. And I just have to continue to hope that conscience will kick in and that we can put that partisanship aside and do something as simple as this. And you know, Commissioner Fried has been talking about the economic aspects of this. Capitalism finds opportunity. Polystyrene is used, widely used, too widely used, because it's cheap. If it's banned, that opportunity will be created. Businesses will come in, they will create, there are already alternatives out there, they will create more opportunities, or more alternatives, excuse me. The development and production of those, the cost will go down, and it will pay for itself. So we can not only preserve the health and safety of our families, we can do it in a way that will be revenue neutral for businesses. We just gotta take the leap and make it happen.
Have you spoken to any of your counterparts to see what their feelings are about this?
Well, I've spoken to a few of my Democratic colleagues, and they're very much in favor of it. I haven't had a chance to speak to any of my Republican colleagues yet. We got sidetracked during what was supposed to be our committee weeks with the special session dealing with this COVID legislation that, frankly, I don't think was a wise use of our time. But I intend to hit the ground running when I get back to Tallahassee on Monday and really push. And once we get the bill heard, okay, and the facts are laid out there, this is a no-brainer.
And I just want to say two other points to that. Our authorization to create this rule was based on a piece of legislation that the Republican legislature passed. So the authorization to the Department of Agriculture to be able to do rulemaking in regards to polystyrene was from legislation of the Republican Party. So all we are doing is utilizing the authorization that was given to us. So again, this should not be a partisan issue. They had given us the authority. We are acting to do the right thing. And it's also something that I've been talking about for years. It's why I helped with the legislature to legalize hemp here in the state of Florida. I've said that hemp is going to be a $20 to $30 billion economic impact to the state of Florida because it's going to be used for industrial purposes like the replacements of styrofoams and plastics. So this has been part of the plan to the economic opportunities for the state of Florida, that now that our agriculture industry can start growing hemp, this gives them an opportunity now to take it one step further and start utilizing it for the industrial purposes, the replacement of these products. So this is a win-win for our state, for the environment, for our economic impact, and really try to bring in these, again, hemp-made products here to the state of Florida that are made from our hemp growers, and really is going to create a huge boost in the economy.
Have you reached out to any major companies that have already agreed to do this on their own without the state being involved?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this has been a long-going process. I personally have spoken to companies that have already phased it out. I've talked to companies that have not, we wanted to make sure that they had a seat at the table, so that we heard any of their concerns, that we are working with our business interests, because this has to be a partnership. We need buy-in from both all of our stakeholders, from the environmentalists, the legislators, to the executive branch, to our business community. And so we have spent a significant amount of time, both myself and my department, making sure that we are interacting with the business community, those who have already phased out, those that we're hoping will phase out and work with us, and of course the companies that are already producing these alternative products. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.